Excuse me. Can these two-handed, axe-wielding Sturgian line breakers defend a castle against 1,000 super disgusting, poor, rabid, stinky, Jeremy Carver peasants? These peasants will have a battering ram and 2 siege towers to attack. The Sturgian line breakers will also have 4 fire ballistas at their disposal. So let's get into it. Let's see how these peasants do in the first siege tower. See what happens when these peasants actually make it to the top of this ladder. This guy is super keen to get up the top of that ladder. Clearly has no idea there's 100 bloodthirsty axe raiders at the top of that ladder.
Do you like what you see?
Bruh.
Nope.
Fuck you!
And he's dead. That didn't take long. Excuse me, physics? How is he walking up and down the ladder just using his legs? Unless you're David Blaine or some sort of magician?
You're not magic.
Well, about as magic as your dad, mate. And he disappeared, didn't he?
So let's see what happens when these peasants actually make it to the top of this ladder and see if they can overwhelm these Sturgian line breakers. Oh my good lord. I mean, they are butchering those peasants alive. Holy shit. Let's have a look at how the battering ram is getting on. It looks like they have broken down the first wall, and when they eventually get through that second gate, they're going to meet these Sturgian line breakers head on in an absolute brawl. Now let's have a quick look at how this second siege tower is doing. Holy shit, it's like a gravesite already. Look at all them dead bodies. And there's a couple more peasant troops making their way up. Let's see how they get on. It is literally like these peasants are running headfirst into a blender, and they are getting absolutely slaughtered. They have no chance against these two-handed axes. My god, they are so powerful. And that is it. That is it. Look at that bar up there. Holy moly. They probably only killed 10 Sturgian heroic line breakers. So there you have it, guys. If you want to defend a castle, use Sturgian heroic line breakers. My god. And next up, we've got the Sturgian heavy axemen. Let's see how these guys get on when they're tasked with defending against 1,000 disgusting peasants. This time, we've got a slightly different castle layout, but there will still be the battering ram and 2 siege towers. And let's have a look how this first siege tower is doing. The heavy axemen are doing pretty well at defending this first siege tower, and the second siege tower also is pretty good shape. They've got that shield wall up, and let's have a look if the battering ram gets through, and the peasants have got through. That was pretty quick, to be honest, and it looks like there's about 25 Sturgian heavy axemen. Just look how many times he actually pokes these Sturgian heavy axemen without doing anything. So stupid.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Fuck you!
Yes! So stupid, man. How can he get 25 pokes without them doing anything? But you can see they've made it through all the way to the army that's defending the second siege tower. This is not looking good for the heavy axemen, I have to say. And they're also getting raided from behind, which means the first siege tower has also fallen. So it looks like it's just a matter of time. So there you have it, guys. 100 Sturgian heavy axemen will not defend a castle against 1,000 peasants. Let's move on to the Sturgian heavy spearmen. These guys are super powerful, and I think that spear is going to work wonders. They can get a couple of long-range pokes off. I think they'll do really well, and they defended the first siege tower quite well. But it looks like the battering ram has got through, and let's see how they get on here with that long-range spear. The battering ram soldiers have got through, and they are pushing through as well. Both scenarios, the peasants managed to drive their way through the first main gate all the way to where the first siege tower is being defended, and that handicaps these spearmen really badly because they can attack from both sides and catch the spearman from behind, which leaves them vulnerable. The remaining troops from the first siege tower are falling back to the second siege tower for a final defense. Can these spearmen hold this small shield wall against what looks like a few hundred peasants left? But they are getting pushed back into a small room, which probably is going to help them, to be honest. If it's a confined space, they might actually do this. But it looks like the peasants have overwhelmed them, and there's one guy here stuck in the corner, and his head is going through the wall. I don't know what's happening, but let's press fast forward because it doesn't look like he can hit any of the peasants, and the peasants can't hit him. And this is about, wow, this fast forward is probably 15 minutes, so they can't actually kill him within 15 minutes of real game time, but eventually he dies. There we go. And the Sturgian heavy spearmen could not defend this castle. But next up, let's test the Sturgian Druzhinnik champions. These guys are the only tier 6 unit I am going to be testing, and they are supposed to be a cavalry unit, but they do have the highest attributes of all of the previous tier 5 units I've been testing, so they should do really well. But you can see the peasants have already broken through the main gate, and the first siege tower is being attacked, and the second siege tower. But they are holding both siege towers really well. This could be a super close one because these guys are so heavily armored. But oh no, it looks like the main gate has been breached and there is a swarm of peasants making their way through to the first siege tower. But this is not looking good for the Druzhinniks. They are getting cornered off and sandwiched from both sides. Hopefully that second siege tower has been well defended and then some reinforcements can arrive, and there's 2 soldiers here being chased by a pack of rabid, flea-infested peasants. Oh, let's follow this guy to see if he can make it back to his friends. Come on, you can do it. You can do it! Druzhinnik, you can do it. Come on, you can make it back. And but it looks like the second siege tower is also falling to the swarm of peasants. You can see that bar up there. There's hardly any Druzhinniks left, and it looks like it is the beginning of the end for these Druzhinnik champions. I don't know what to say, guys. I thought these guys would do it. Tier 6 units, but I might have to try the heroic line breakers just to see if the castle made any difference. Maybe the castle that I chose originally was slightly different, and maybe the layout of the castle benefited the Sturgian line breakers really heavily. So here we go, guys. Next up, we're going to try the Sturgian heroic line breakers again. They've already started using their throwing axes to get a couple of kills here and there, and the peasants are making their way. Nope. That guy, he wanted none of it. He was like, oh, I'm out of here. And it's pretty much the same story. These Sturgian heroic line breakers absolutely slaughtering these peasants. And down here, it looks like the peasants have broken through the main gate and have engaged this group of about 20-25 line breakers. This is where the peasants usually take the advantage, where they can surround this group of soldiers that defend the main gate. And if they can break through here, they do start to move towards the defense of those 2 siege towers. So let's see if they can hold it. This has got to be petrifying for these peasants. They're just getting slaughtered. This is turning into a complete massacre, and this makes me happy to see. This is like the Chainsaw Massacre, and even by the main gate, this Sturgian heavy line breakers, their axes, they're just taking out everyone, and it looks like peasants are running. Yeah, that bar up there, there's hardly any Sturgian line breakers who have actually been killed, and they are just picking off. Oh, they're all getting clumped up as they're trying to run away. And this is making it easy for these line breakers to chop their heads off. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like for the Sturgian faction, the Sturgian heroic line breakers are the best unit to use for your castle defenses. So there you have it, guys. If you're playing with Sturgian troops and you want to defend a castle, make sure you've got plenty of Sturgian heroic line breakers. And next up, we're going to be trying the Sturgian veteran Bowman. These guys are a tier 5 Sturgian archer ranged unit, and they are one of the stronger archer units in the game. So let's see if these 1,000 peasants can make it the whole way to this castle and invade. And you can see these archers are just picking off so many soldiers straight away. I think headshots are definitely a 1-hit kill, but I think torso probably 2 kills unless they hit in the heart or something. But they are picking off a lot of soldiers already. I'm not even sure these peasants are going to make it all the way to the castle. If they do, they will have a chance, but if they can't even make it to the castle, then this is going to be a quick one. They managed to get the battering ram and both siege towers to the castle, but it took about 5 seconds before the peasants ran away, being the cowards that they are. And wow, that was impressive. 100 archers defeated 1,000 peasants. Pretty easy. Thanks so much, guys. Take it easy and catch you on the next one.